Hey there, and welcome. Today we're diving into what so many people call the golden months of pregnancy. Yep, the second trimester. If you've just powered through the first trimester, seriously, congratulations. We're about to get into exactly why this middle stage can feel like such a breath of fresh air.
So why do they call it the best part? I mean, that's a pretty big claim, right? Well, for a lot of people, it's this amazing time of renewed energy and growing excitement. It really can feel like a major turning point in the whole journey.
You know, it really is a tale of two trimesters. That first one can be, well, it can be a real slog. You've got the morning sickness, which is often an all-day sickness, that bone-deep fatigue, and maybe a little anxiety too. But then as you slide into the second trimester, this amazing shift often happens. Your energy comes back, the nausea starts to disappear, and you can finally really start to enjoy what's happening.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll officially welcome you to trimester 2. Then, we're going to jump into the super exciting stuff, your baby's incredible development and all the changes happening in your own body. After that, we'll cover some really practical tips for staying healthy and safe. And we'll wrap it all up with how you can use this time to get ready for your baby's big arrival.
Okay, first stop, welcome to trimester 2, or as we like to call it, the sweet spot of pregnancy.
So what are we actually talking about, timeline-wise? The second trimester is that middle stretch of your pregnancy. It kicks off at week 13 and carries you right on through to the end of week 27.
And that whole sweet spot thing, a huge part of that is this amazing burst of energy. It's the #1 reason this trimester feels so fantastic for so many people. It's not just about feeling less sick, it's about feeling genuinely energized and, more like yourself again. And that can be such a huge relief.
But, and this is really important, while we call it the golden trimester, that's not everyone's experience. Every single pregnancy is unique. So if you're still feeling tired or sick, that is 100% okay. It's totally normal for you. There's no right or wrong way to feel here.
All right, let's move on to one of the most exciting parts, your baby's amazing development. Seriously, we're talking about those first little flutters and some absolutely incredible new features.
Just look at this timeline. So much happens in just a few short months. Around weeks 18 to 20, you might feel those first little movements. It's just incredible. Your big 20-week anatomy scan is on the horizon, and get this, by the end of this trimester, your baby can actually hear your voice.
And the development is it's mind-blowing. The fetus is starting to look so much more like a newborn. Facial features are finding their proper places, tiny little fingers and toes are all well-defined, and they're even growing eyebrows and hair. And inside, they are busy, stretching, making faces, even sucking their thumb.
Let's talk about that magical moment for a second. It's called quickening. It's not a big kick right away. Most people say it feels like a gentle little flutter, almost like butterflies in your stomach. It's that first, unmistakable sign that there's a real little person wiggling around in there. So while all that amazing stuff is happening with the baby, what's going on with your body? Let's get into the bump and everything else that comes along with it.
So what is actually happening to your body during these weeks? Well, the changes are definitely becoming a lot more obvious now.
This is one of my all-time favorite ways to picture it. Your uterus, which started out about the size of a pear, is going to grow all the way to the size of a watermelon. How wild is that? It's this incredible expansion that leads to that famous baby bump, though just remember, everybody starts to show at their own pace. Now, along with that beautiful bump can come some new and totally normal discomforts. You might feel these sharp little pains in your belly. That's round ligament pain, and it's just your muscle stretching out to make room. You might also notice some skin changes or a bit of swelling. And things like bleeding gums or a stuffy nose, surprisingly common thanks to more blood flow and those wonderful pregnancy hormones.
Okay, let's switch gears and get practical. Section 4 is all about staying healthy and safe. We're talking checkups, important tests, and everyday tips.
You've got some key medical appointments coming up. The big one is the anatomy scan around 20 weeks. That's where they get a really good look at all the baby's developing limbs and organs. A little later, you'll have a glucose screening to check for gestational diabetes. And you'll also have blood tests to keep an eye on things like your iron levels. So, what should you be focusing on day to day? Definitely keep up with gentle exercise. Things like walking and swimming are fantastic. And don't forget those prenatal vitamins. On the flip side, you'll want to steer clear of anything that can get you too hot, like saunas or hot tubs, and avoid certain foods like raw fish and deli meats. Oh, and now is a great time to pass the cat litter duty off to someone else. Okay, This is super important. You know your body better than anyone. Don't ever hesitate to call your doctor or midwife if you experience any of these things: severe cramping, any kind of bleeding, shortness of breath that's getting worse, any fluid leaking, or regular contractions. Seriously, it's always better to be safe.
And that brings us to our final section, getting ready for baby. With all this newfound energy, the second trimester is the absolute perfect time to start planning for birth and your new life as a parent.
Here's a little checklist to get you rolling. You can use this time to start researching your birth options, sign up for a childbirth or parenting class, maybe tour the hospital or birth center where you plan to deliver, and start looking for a pediatrician for your little one.
So when you boil it all down, the second trimester really serves two amazing purposes. It's a time of explosive, incredible growth for your baby, and it's also this perfect window of opportunity for you to get ahead of the game and prepare for everything that's coming.
And that's a wrap. I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Now that you're in this so-called sweet spot of pregnancy, what's the one thing you are most excited to do? Thanks for tuning in.